Okay, so I have a Genesis 1 character for this example loaded in my DAZ Studio, and I'm going to go ahead and export that with the proper keyframes it needs to import for an auto-speaking character in CC4, and of course iClone then. So I've loaded my Genesis 1, and then I need to go and find my DUF file that is in the facial profile in the DAZ resources. There's the entire path. It's in Programs, Assets, External Files, DAZ Resource, Facial Profile, Genesis. And of course, that's C Program Files, Reillusion, Character Creator. Okay, so I'm just going to drag and drop that onto the character. And it will say it needs to add some frames, and that's fine. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of frames here, but I've actually got a lot more than I need. You'll probably get this turn limits off box and just go ahead and turn off. And you actually have more frames than you need, so you can come down here where it says FPS, and instead of 30, set it to 1. All right, there we go. Now we have a better number of frames to use. And after I've applied that, and the length is all set because it added the frames automatically and took care of that, I'm going to go to File, Export, and I want to make sure I choose FBX, and in this case I'm going to call it DAZ Face Test. And of course I have that file already, and I do want to overwrite it, so yes. Okay, in the export panel, you need to make sure you have figures. You don't actually need props checked, but it's going to be checked by default. You need animations checked, and you need morphs checked. And then you need to check your morph export rules. Okay, in this one, you need to go ahead and, if there isn't one here, add one. And so my morph rule 0 is going to be match, and I'm going to type in head there, and that will get all the head blend shapes. And then for action, I want to choose export. And go ahead and accept that. All right, and I will go ahead and accept. And it's exporting. And now I will pop over into Character Creator. And I'm going to start with a blank empty file and create character. And I will import that DAZ Face Test character I had. And I'm going to import it as humanoid. As this one, the CC avatar will only work for re-importing a CC character. So for a DAZ character, importing it as a DAZ character rather than using the transformer tool, you need to use the humanoid. Okay, so go ahead and apply. Okay, it's going to tell me what it auto recognizes it as DAZ Genesis, so that's okay. If I'd used a Genesis 8, it would have a Genesis 8 one here. And so I'll say okay. And there's my character. And now since I'm working on the face, I'm going to press J, and it will zoom in on the face. Okay, so now I need to find my my facial setup panel, and you can just press F8, or you can find it under here, and it is the Edit Facial Profile Editor. So you can do it that way. I always just press F8 to pop it up really quickly. And at first it looks like there's nothing there. You need to click on the Edit Expressions at the top. And then right under here where it says FBX frame with frame sequence, you need to click on that. Okay, and it will pop up this box here And it's going to ask you for a key, but you can actually skip that because we are not using one we exported earlier. So for the FBX file, go ahead and find it here, and same one, DAZ face test, and then just hit OK. All right, so now it actually has all the visiums are in here, and all the every facial movement is here. So I've got them all here, and you can go in and check the different ones. There's a smile left and right, and if I go in and confirm that this is indeed the DAZ mesh that I've imported, just to make sure, you'll see there's nothing CC here. That's the Genesis model. So now what I'm going to do is go into my content and go ahead and test this with a speaking animation. So I'll find my animations here, and I have a Talk Motion Plus file here. So I'm just going to load that on my character, and then I'll go ahead and hit play. Okay, so I can see that the visiums are all working correctly, and if I want to then look in the check in the facial pose to make sure that's working nicely too, and select the edit facial, and it will say that there's not enough morph data for some of the things, and that's okay, because when you import the ones from the DAZ DUF file, there's not as many as CC4 can support. CC4 for the CC characters can have up to 140 blend shapes now. So just go ahead and click OK, and then you'll get your facial panel here, and we can try loading just some expressions, and they look to work fine. Okay, so that character works, and it was a fairly painless automatic import. Hope that was useful.